The question, who gets to wear the shame bell for Josh Allen and the Bills losing in Atlanta in a game? For the balance of the game, they were on the wrong side of the scoreboard. They were playing uphill for most of that game. So on this one, I've got hot yoga, quantum physics, and Mr. Rooter. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make some delicious cinnamon cookies is what we're going to make. Oh, man, are they good. There's a little cinnamon, like the cinnamon roll filling in there. That's the way to go. So first of all, let's just say the obvious. This is a full-scale embarrassment for the Buffalo Bills. And as we sit here today, if you look out in the wild blue yonder of the NFL, there is no dominant team. No one is head and shoulders above everyone else. Buffalo's one of those teams that you think about the upper echelon of the AFC. You think of the Buffalo Bills. And I don't care how many guys were injured for the Bills defense, how many practice squad or fringe players they were playing. That defense was a combination. On one side, you had traffic cones over here. Now, on the other side, it was slip and slide tackling. That's it. That's all. Atlanta ran the ball down the throat of the Buffalo Bills defense and through their nose and then up the back alley. I didn't even know there was a back alley there. Up the back alley, whatever direction they wanted to go. The zig, the zag, and a big chunk of yards. 335 yards allowed in the first half. In the first half, the Bills gave Atlanta 335 yards. That is, if that sounds like a lot, that is the most the Buffalo Bills have allowed in a generation. You've got to go back. Most yards allowed in a half since 2001. Now, that was before the smartphone in 2001. That was before social media was a thing in 2001. And here we are. That's how long back you have to go for the Buffalo Bills. What a disgrace. An absolute disgraceful performance. Well, let's hear from the head coach, Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills. And not only does he want to talk about, he didn't want to talk about the defense here, but he's going to talk about the offense. But here's McDermott ranting about the Bills' offense, which was also bad, but not as bad as the defense. Take a listen.
Staying in a two-dimensional offense against a good pass rushing defense, we knew that was going to be important. We were off schedule quite a bit, and that can't happen against a defense like that. Second half, I thought we found a rhythm in that first drive in particular, and but then after that, again we were shooting ourselves in the foot there. So we got to be better.
You don't have to bring Plaxico Burress' name up like that. It's a bad job by you. Anyway, all right, let's focus in on the Bills' defense though for a second. So the question, disgraceful performance. The question here is, we already framed it, but who gets to wear it? Who's the one that you blame, the shame bell on the Bills defense here? So that falls on the defensive coordinator, Bobby Babich, the defensive coordinator. He right now is in the hot yoga sauna. He's in the hot yoga sauna. It's warming up. Things are getting very warm in here. As we like to say in these parts, as a rule, when teams play as pathetically as the Buffalo Bills defense did in that game, that you're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. And right now, the Bills are allowing it to happen. I'm not saying they're coaching it, but they're allowing it to happen. The Bills defense, you talk about a leaky faucet. Now, they haven't been good all year. And you look at it right now against Atlanta. Does anyone think the Falcons are good, by the way? I mean, at the very peak, they're in the middle of the pack, the Atlanta Falcons. But that was a busted water main. That was not a leaky faucet. That was a busted water main. And it looked like a wet paper bag defense is what it looked like. And it's like, well, the guy's out, but tough luck. I mean, that's professional sports. Nobody cares. Do your job, as Belichick used to say when he was respected. But this is supposed to be the Super Bowl window for the Buffalo Bills. Well, it's only week 6. Who cares? But have the Bills really looked that great this season? That is a rhetorical question. They have not. Even our blind listeners like Stevie Meatballs know they do not look that good. And Inca Terror, they know that they don't look that good. And Babich, the defensive coordinator, his seat, again, we said hot yoga. His seat is not just warm at this point. It is glowing. It is glowing, and not in a good way. McDermott, now Sean McDermott's got decisions to make. And I've already done 17 monologues over the years firing Sean McDermott, normally after Bills playoff games. But Sean McDermott's got to make a decision. The ownership and the front office there in Buffalo, they have to decide whether they want to do something drastic and try to get somebody else, a new voice in there to patch up this defense, where if this is the defense the Bills are going to have all year, they're not going to win a playoff game. They'll get to the playoffs, but they're not going to win a playoff game, and that window's going to slam shut. Another year of Josh Allen's prime out the window. See you later. The Falcons' offense is nothing special. Like, you knew going in they were going to try to run the ball. The Bills have had a problem stopping the run, and the Bills confirmed they still have a problem stopping the run. My God. And it's not like Michael Penix made a couple of completions here and there, and the final numbers were good. Watching the game, I didn't think he was all that great. I didn't get the vibe watching the Falcons that, boy, this was a Michael Penix Jr. game. I loved him in college. I didn't think he was all that great. The numbers were not bad. All right, one more thing. So the other question is, what was that performance from Josh Allen? If you put things in tiers, not a big board, but in tiers, you'd say the biggest issue for the Buffalo Bills is the defense. Josh Allen, though, very unlike Josh Allen. Last night, he looked like a guy strumming a guitar at an open mic night at the Rusty Pelican, Josh Allen, and he was just vibing on the G-flat major chord. A lot of flat passes. Didn't look like he had really thought the game plan through. I mean, I hate to say that, but I'm just telling you what I watched. Like, the whole thing burned to the ground there. They got 17 points, 17 first downs, 2 of those because of penalties by the Atlanta Falcons that were given to the Buffalo Bills. Didn't look anything like an MVP-level quarterback. Very average. A lot of yuck. There's a lot of yuck out there. And you don't get the mulligans. There's no mulligans when you play like this. You don't get a do-over. And just 180 passing yards for Josh Allen against a so-so Atlanta Falcons defense. Again, not terrible, not great, somewhere in the middle. 1 touchdown. Now, the Josh Allen Marching and Chowder Society will tell you that the passes that were intercepted were both tipped. And they'll say, well, give him a pass, give him a mulligan. It was just bad luck. I don't want to hear about bad luck. Okay, I don't want to hear it. And you make your own luck. You're the guy, right? You're one of the faces of the NFL, Josh Allen. And in this particular game, you didn't look like it. Everyone has a stinker now and again, right? We all have bad days at work, and he had a bad day at work. He was not very good. And don't look now, but we have a changing of the guard. Like ships passing in the middle of the night, the Buffalo Bills are no longer in first place in the AFC East. The New England Patriots. Holy Bill Belichick. He's not even there. Where'd Tom Brady go? The Patriots are in the penthouse of the AFC East. Now, technically, the teams are tied. However, the tiebreaker goes to the New England football team. So the Bills are looking up at the tuchus of Drake May and the New England football team sipping martinis as they are currently in first place in the AFC. So as far as what went wrong in this particular game, well, Atlanta blitzed Josh Allen, and despite having an MVP award on his Pro Football Reference page, it looked like he had never seen the blitz before. And I'm not going to say he was like Justin Fields bad, but it was not pretty. Deer in the headlights, looked often confused, flustered, bedraggled by what the Falcons were doing defensively, and throwing into coverage that you don't have good enough receivers to complete those passes, and a couple of interceptions. He did have 2 fumbles. Both of them were recovered by the team. But remember, I know this from doing Benny versus the Penny and handicapping games and trying to factor in fumbles and turnovers. The fumble is a 50-50 proposition. Like, you fumble it, it's half the time you get it, half the time the other team gets it. So it was a bad night all the way around. Dysfunctional offense, check. Penalties, check. Tip passes, check. Missed tackles galore, check. Golly, check. Yeah, and so despite some excuses that have already trickled in from my friends in the Bills Mafia there that listen to us in the greater Buffalo area, not here for it. The standard, as Mike Tomlin said, is the standard, and Josh Allen did not meet the standard.